So welcome to this edition of the Native News Update. I'm your host for today's program, Paul Demain. Many of the stories read here can also be found at our website at IndianCountryNews.com. Here are the news stories for the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. Officers from the Puyallup tribe and the Bureau of Indian Affairs seized scores of artifacts from an antique dealer in Tacoma recently, suspecting the items were stolen. The items had been scheduled to be auctioned by Sanford & Son Antiques in Tacoma, Washington. The dealer's owner, Alan Gorsuch, said that he believed that he bought the baskets, photographs, and other Native American items from a representative of the owner, 88-year-old Ramona Hawthorne, who is the daughter of a Puyallup tribal leader from a century ago. Gorsuch has been very cooperative with the whole procedure, said John Weimer, a spokesman for the tribe. Scrutiny on the items in the auction ramped up after an article in the newspaper. Hawthorne's neighbors began calling the police and putting up posters alerting people that the items had been stolen. An open government group has asked a federal judge to acknowledge the existence of a juvenile criminal case related to the deaths of 3 girls on the Wind River Indian Reservation near Cheyenne, Wyoming. The girls, Ohitika Wynn Alexis Gardner, 13, Winter Rose Thomas, 14, and Alexandria Alex Whiteplume, 15, were found dead in a tribal housing complex south of Riverton on June 4, 2008. The FBI has been handling the investigation into the girls' deaths since then. The Wyoming Coalition for Open Government asked U.S. District Judge William Downes, Chief Federal Judge for Wyoming, in a letter to reveal at least the docket number in the case. The FBI, federal court officials, and the local coroner have not released any details about the case, including how the girls died. The blanket secrecy in this case is unnecessary and doesn't serve the public, said Reed Eckhart, executive editor of the Wyoming Tribune-Eagle in Cheyenne, Wyoming. The leader of the Navajo Nation marked the 30th anniversary of a massive uranium tailings spill by reaffirming the tribe's ban on future uranium mining. Speaking in Navajo and English, President Joe Shirley Jr. addressed about 100 people who walked last week to the site of the July 16, 1979 spill. What Shirley called the largest peacetime accidental release of radioactive contaminated materials in the history of the United States occurred when 94 million gallons of acidic water poured into the North Fork of the Rio Porco after an earthen uranium tailings dam failed. Within days, contaminated tailings liquid was found 50 miles downstream in Arizona. Shirley said the spill, the same year as the 3 Mile Island accident in Pennsylvania, barely registered on the consciousness of the United States, but will not be forgotten by the Navajo people and the non-Navajo residents of the area. Nez Perce tribal member Rebecca Miles is the new chairwoman of the Columbia River Intertribal Fish Commission for 2009 through 2010. She is a former chair of the Nez Perce Tribal General Council and a member of the tribe's executive committee. Miles is the 3rd consecutive female chair in a position long dominated by men and succeeds Catherine Brigham of the Confederated Tribes of the Umatilla Reservation. Brigham's year in office saw the restoration of Pacific Salmon Treaty funds and a more unified approach to protecting tribal treaty rights. The Fish Commission is the technical support and coordinating agency for fishery management for the Columbia River Basin's 4 tribes, which are guaranteed perpetual fishing rights under an 1855 treaty. A building under construction at Sisseton-Wahpeton College will include an auditorium big enough to keep graduation ceremonies on campus. Development Director Pam Wina said a $3 million federal grant will cover most of the costs. The college in northeast South Dakota usually holds graduation ceremonies at the local casino. Wynea said the auditorium can be used for other community events as well and as an emergency shelter when people lose heat and electricity during winter storms, which happens fairly often out in South Dakota. United Tribes Technical College invites runners to participate in the 4th annual Thunderbird Run set for Saturday, August 22nd, beginning and ending at the college campus in Bismarck. The event is open to all participants aged 14 and up who are able to complete a 13.1 mile course in 3.5 hours at a 16-minute mile pace. The route will take runners from the United Tribes to and from the Missouri River woodlands. Proceeds from the events will be used to fund a cooperative project that brings together elders and young people on one of North Dakota's reservations. This year, the project will be at the 3 affiliated tribes. A registration form is available at the college website at www.utte.edu. Also, take a look at some of the new programs in the featured channel that have been put up in the last few days. Those programs are a new batch that play until August 10th. And take a peek at the Honor the Earth powwow videos and clips we got. They're both in the LCO Great Lakes digital channel or the powwow channel. And you can find them at Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and all kinds of other places out in cyberspace. So that is the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. We want to thank our underwriters for helping us with this broadcast and you for joining with us again. Miigwech!